brutal punch echoed through the arena as the MMA fighter celebrated wildly, strutting past cameras. He spotted a quiet man in the front row. "Hey, firefighter, think you're tough? Step in here." The crowd gasped. No one expected what happened next. The stadium pulsed with raw energy. Every seat filled, voices blending into a deafening roar. Floodlights beamed down onto the polished cage, cameras flashing like lightning. In the VIP section sat Mike Brennan, dressed in jeans and a simple t-shirt that hinted at his muscular build. Unlike others, he watched with professional focus. No cheering, just observation. The arena's attention centered on Razor Reynolds, the undefeated rising star known not just for skill, but for showmanship. He bounced on his heels, soaking in the attention. Fans either loved or hated him, but nobody ignored him. Across the cage stood his opponent, a respected veteran fighter. From the moment the bell rang, Reynolds attacked relentlessly, giving his opponent no space. It ended brutally. A quick combination, a clean hit to the jaw, and the veteran hit the mat hard. While medics rushed in, Reynolds paraded around the cage, arms raised high, flexing for cameras. He shouted at fans, mocking his fallen opponent openly. Commentators barely had time to react before he grabbed the mic. Through all this, Mike remained perfectly still, his firefighter's discipline evident in his calm demeanor. His eyes tracked every move, every taunt. And Reynolds noticed. Reynolds wiped sweat from his face, pacing the cage like a predator. Between heavy breaths, his eyes locked onto Mike in the front row. "Hey, you." His voice boomed through the speakers. "Yeah, you in the blue shirt. You're that firefighter from the news last month, right?" The crowd quieted slightly, heads turning toward Mike, who remained seated, expression unchanged. "What's wrong, hero? Too scared to acknowledge me?" Reynolds laughed, playing to the cameras. "You guys think firefighters are tough? They just pose for calendars and rescue kittens." Murmurs rippled through the audience. Some laughed nervously, others shifted uncomfortably. A few fans near Mike glanced at him with curiosity. "I bet you think those rescue drills make you tough," Reynolds continued, bouncing on his heels. "Why don't you step in here? Let's see if you're as brave without your helmet and hose." The crowd's energy shifted. Someone shouted, "Show him, Mike." Others joined in, a chant building. "Mike! Mike! Mike!" Reynolds grinned wider. "Come on, firefighter. One round. Unless you're only brave when there's a camera crew following you into burning buildings." Mike finally moved, his movements unhurried. He stood, adjusting his shirt with deliberate calm. The arena quieted as he made eye contact with Reynolds. Without a word, Mike walked toward the cage, each step measured and confident. Security personnel glanced at each other, uncertain, but moved aside as he approached. The crowd held its breath. Something unexpected was about to happen. The cage door opened with metallic creak that seemed to echo to the now-hushed arena. Mike stepped inside with the same measured calm he'd shown walking across the floor. No dramatic entrance, no playing to the crowd. Just the quiet confidence of a man who'd faced real danger. Reynolds circled like a shark, still riding his victory high. "Look who decided to join us," he announced, voice dripping with mockery. "Our local hero thinks he can hang with the pros." Mike removed his watch, handing it to an official. His movements were economical, practiced, the same way he'd gear up for a fire. He stretched his shoulders briefly, settling into a relaxed stance. "What's wrong, firefighter?" No fancy gear to hide behind now. Reynolds taunted, bouncing energetically. "This isn't a controlled training exercise. This is real combat." The two men stood face to face in the center of the cage. The contrast was striking. Reynolds with his flashy fight shorts and sponsor logos, Mike in simple jeans and t-shirt. Reynolds, still amped from his victory, shifting his weight constantly. Mike perfectly still, hands loose at his sides. "You know," Reynolds leaned in, voice low but picked up by nearby mics. "Those rescue stories make for good PR, but we both know who the real athletes are." Mike's expression remained unchanged. His eyes, however, carried the steady focus of someone who'd navigated burning buildings where a single misstep meant death. The referee approached uncertainly. "Sir, I'm not sure we can allow this without proper—" "It's fine," Mike spoke for the first time, voice calm but carrying authority. I understand the risks. The crowd leaned forward collectively. Phones raised higher, recording every second. The commentators whispered frantically, unsure how to narrate this unprecedented moment. Reynolds smirked, cracking his knuckles theatrically. Last chance to walk away, hero. The makeshift match began without ceremony. Reynolds attacked immediately, launching forward with a flurry of punches, the same aggressive style that had won in the official fight minutes earlier. His fists cut through the air with practiced precision, a left hook followed by a right cross aimed at Mike's jaw. But the firefighter wasn't where the punches landed. He had shifted slightly, almost imperceptibly, his movements minimal yet effective. The crowd gasped. Stand still and fight. Reynolds snarled, frustration edging into his voice. He pressed forward with a combination of strikes, each thrown with increasing force. Mike blocked a jab with his forearm, the impact making a sound that carried through the arena. His defensive posture wasn't that of a trained fighter showing off. It was functional, efficient, like someone who'd learned to conserve energy when it mattered most. "Look at that defensive technique," one commentator whispered. "That's not MMA training." Reynolds landed a glancing blow to Mike's shoulder, grinning triumphantly. "Not so tough without your team backing you up, huh?" Mike absorbed the hit without flinching. For the first time, a hint of something crossed his face. Not fear, not anger, but focus sharpening. Those in the front row recognized it. The same expression firefighters wear when assessing a dangerous situation. Reynolds pressed his advantage, throwing a spinning kick that would have impressed the judges. Mike caught the leg mid-spin and used Reynolds' momentum to disrupt his balance. Not a flashy counter, but the practical move of someone who grappled in real-life situations where showing off got people killed. The crowd's energy shifted palpably. The cheers for Reynolds grew quieter. Murmurs of surprise spread through the stands. Phones recorded every second as people realized they were witnessing something unexpected. "You fight like someone who's never faced real danger," Mike said quietly, his first word since the fight began. Reynolds' expression flickered with uncertainty. He'd expected an amateur, someone he could humiliate easily. Instead, he faced a man whose calm wasn't an act. It was forged in situations where panic meant death. The cocky fighter's smile faded. For the first time, doubt crept into his eyes. Reynolds' confidence cracked. He lunged forward with a wild haymaker, all power, no precision. The controlled technique from his earlier fight dissolved into something desperate. Mike sidestepped smoothly, his movements economical. "In a burning building," he said quietly, blocking another punch. "There's no room for showboating." The firefighters' counterstrikes weren't flashy. They were devastatingly practical. A short jab to Reynolds' solar plexus. A precise strike to pressure points that firefighters learn for emergency extractions. Each move calculated, efficient, like conserving oxygen in a smoke-filled room. "What the hell kind of fighting is this?" Reynolds gasped, backing up for the first time. "It's not fighting," Mike replied, his voice steady. "It's survival." The crowd watched in stunned silence as the dynamic shifted. Reynolds, the professional fighter, was being methodically dismantled by a man who fought not for sport, but from experience that couldn't be replicated in a gym. Reynolds' frustration mounted. He charged forward, attempting a takedown that had won him championships. Mike pivoted, the same motion used when maneuvering through unstable structures, and Reynolds found himself off balance. "Those aren't MMA moves," a commentator whispered. "That's tactical training." The revelation spread through the crowd. This wasn't just any firefighter. The whispers grew. "He's from Rescue Squad 7? The ones who saved those families in the apartment complex collapse." Reynolds, hearing the murmurs, attacked with renewed fury, a spinning kick aimed at Mike's head. The firefighter ducked with the same instinct that had carried him under falling beams. "Stand and fight like a man," Reynolds shouted, his composure completely gone. Mike's eyes narrowed slightly. "I am." What happened next seemed to unfold in slow motion. Reynolds charged forward, telegraphing a powerful right hook. Mike stepped into the attack rather than away, the counterintuitive move of someone who'd learned to advance into danger. A single, precise strike to Reynolds' jaw, not thrown with hatred or showmanship, but with the controlled power of someone who understood exactly how much force was necessary. No more, no less. Reynolds dropped. The sound of his body hitting the mat echoed through the suddenly silent arena. The arena held its breath. Reynolds lay motionless for 3 heartbeats before groaning, rolling to his side. Medical staff rushed forward, but the fighter waved them off. Struggling to his knees, disbelief etched across his face. Mike stood quietly, no celebration, no raised arms. He rolled his shoulders once, the same way he might after removing heavy gear after rescue. His breathing remained steady, controlled, the discipline of someone trained to manage adrenaline. The silence shattered as the crowd erupted. Mike! 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 The chant built like a wave, phones recording frantically, capturing the moment that would be viral before midnight. Reynolds pushed himself up, wobbling slightly. The cocky grin was gone, replaced by something humbled. He approached Mike with unsteady steps, extending his hand. Where? He started, voice hoarse. Where did you learn to fight like that? Mike accepted the handshake. It's not fighting. It's what happens when lives depend on staying calm under pressure. Commentators scrambled to fill the airwaves. Ladies and gentlemen, what we've just witnessed is extraordinary. Mike Brennan, the firefighter who led the rescue at the Westside apartment collapse last month, just showed us what real-world combat training looks like. Social media exploded. Clips spread with captions. Cocky MMA fighter challenges firefighter, instantly regrets it. And this is why you respect first responders. Mike moved toward the cage door. No swagger in his step. Security parted respectfully. Fans reached out, not for autographs, but to shake his hand, to offer quiet thanks. Reynolds watched him go, rubbing his jaw. A reporter thrust a microphone toward him. Any comments on what just happened? The fighter paused, humility replacing arrogance. I've trained in gyms my whole life, he said quietly. That man trains by running into burning buildings. I think that says it all. Mike disappeared down the exit tunnel, leaving behind a lesson more powerful than any victory celebration. Long after Mike Brennan left the arena, his impact resonated through millions of shares and comments. What began as entertainment had transformed into a powerful lesson about authentic strength. True power, we learned that night, isn't measured by trophies or followers. It's forged in moments when nobody's watching, in burning buildings, in split-second decisions that save lives. It's cultivated not through dominance, but through service. Reynolds later admitted in an interview, I trained to look strong. He trained to be strong when others needed him most. That's the difference I never understood until that night. This contrast makes us question, what version of strength do we celebrate in our society? The kind that performs for applause, or the kind that shows up reliably when lives hang in the balance? Perhaps the quietest heroes have always been the strongest, not because they proclaim it, but because they prove it when it matters. What everyday heroes deserve your recognition? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story moved you, consider subscribing for more moments that challenge our perspectives on courage and strength. And remember to share this with someone who needs this reminder about what true strength looks like.